Welcome to October Country. I'm your host, Jim Towns. We're going to be talking about mummies tonight. Well, really, we're going to be watching a lot of mummy footage. I edited it together, and I'm just going to ramble a bit while we watch it. So first of all, as opposed to the vampire legends or werewolf legends, the Egyptians believed that preserving the corporeal remains of the deceased with bandages and stuff helped their spirit, or ka, reach the afterlife. The idea that these bodies would someday regain animation was never part of this plan. So it's pretty weird that the mummy is part of the canon of monsters we have at all. And for that, we mostly have this guy to thank. This is John L. Balderston. He also wrote Frankenstein. He was a reporter who was present at the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. When he became a screenwriter at Universal, he liked to tap into this knack he had for history, and when Universal was developing a project for Boris Karloff after the success of Frankenstein, Balderston was the one who brought Egypt and mummies into the mix, and that's sort of how mummies, who again the Egyptians never intended to come back to physical life, became one of our monsterific usual suspects. I think mummies make compelling monsters because they have this shambling, relentless gait like zombies, but they're usually driven by a more understandable motivation. They usually want to achieve some sort of amulet or token, find their lost love, take revenge on someone who's violated their rest. So we can kind of sympathize with them in a way. So over the years, cinematic mummies have adapted to changing tastes. They've gone from Karloff's Mephistophelian-styled Imhotep to being shambling, bandage-bound mutes in the 40s and 50s, to being sexy female mummies in the 60s, to poorly computer-generated mummies in the 90s, to kind of a combination of all of them. Mummies have also been really popular in animation over the years, and a lot of my all-time favorite mummies have actually been guest stars on Superman, Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest, and Mad Monster Party. I think our ongoing fascination with mummies exists on a couple levels. I think they represent the power of the human will over death, which is a fantasy we're all attracted to naturally. I think they're connected to the exoticism of a culture that's vanished with time, and that's always interesting too. Mostly I think we're into them because over the past 80 years, the idea of this character has simply become something we know and are familiar with. It's a familiar character. It's a popular Halloween costume. Mummies, for all their ancientness, are actually a modern pop culture mythology. We innately understand what these guys are about without having to be taught it. The old magic's obviously still working. So that's your quick mummy tutorial for tonight. My name is Jim Towns. This is October Country. We'll talk to you tomorrow.